Joining me now to discuss is CEO of Strellmark, Hilary Fordwich. Hilary, thanks for joining the Pulse this evening. What are your thoughts on today's developments concerning Greenland?
Well, absolutely a roller coaster. We can say that, David, can't we? We went from the markets being down and dire circumstances to Mark Rutte. I will say this, actually. I headed global business development at the KPMG worldwide, based in Amsterdam, was married to a Dutchman, really understand the Dutch, was there for 3 years. And Mark Rutte, we must remember this. He managed a government and he managed to bring two very diverse parties together. So he managed his entire prime ministership, his entire time in office. He was managed to negotiate between parties. He is showing his brilliant negotiation skills. He gets along very well with President Trump, as many people do, but he always sees two sides of things. And he was able to help with President Trump negotiate this. So I think we've come to a very good place at the very end of the day, just in time for your show. And what's very important to remember, I think, with regard to NATO is everybody watching, anybody American who is an American taxpayer, remember this. If you were to say to a British taxpayer, a German taxpayer, a Swedish taxpayer, a Norwegian taxpayer, or a Swiss taxpayer, or anybody in Europe, if you were to say to them, we want you to spend 2% of your GDP protecting the US southern border, they'd all say, what? Or they'd say, wat in Dutch. It would be ludicrous to them. Meanwhile, you, David, and every member of our audience that's an American taxpayer, we have been paying for the security of Europe through our tax dollars with our contribution to NATO. So now with regard to Greenland, Greenland is not a US issue. It is a Western issue. It is about the safety of the West. And President Trump and the administration are totally correct. As the polar ice cap is melting, the trade routes are opening up. But when trade routes open up, what also opens up? Those routes for nefarious activities, and those are defense routes. Those are routes that can be taken militarily. And the Russians are ready to make any kind of incursion, so are the Chinese. And to paraphrase President Trump, you know, the Danish basically have been trying to defend it, and the Greenlanders with two dog sleds. They can't afford to defend it, nor can they afford to exploit all of the rare earth minerals that are there. This is about Western security, and we've ended up in a very good place at the end of the day. Thank you, President Trump.
Yeah, we absolutely have. Brilliant summation of exactly what's taking place and what's not going to take place with the nefarious actors that are out there. Now, let's talk about inflation for a minute. It's down near 1.5%. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, he's saying that he said at Davos that we might see economic growth of 7 to 8%. Take a look.
Nominal growth are numbers that. When you say them, it's hard to even grasp it. So 8% is possible at this point. Well, that's what it was in the last quarter. I think if you added
it was 7 or 8%, and you know, we are moving along at a great pace.
Moving along at a great pace. What's your reaction to that?
Oh, absolutely. And David, to coin that expression, you ain't seen nothing yet. Think about the things that are going to take a very long time and haven't taken effect, even though President Trump has been in office for a year. All the deregulations, all the things that have been impediments to, for example, housing development and the manufacturing development and any kind of development at all across this nation, all those regulations that were impeding development, the lack of regulations will spur investment and investment in terms of construction. Then we've got all the reshoring and all the manufacturing that will be coming back to this nation, which creates jobs across this nation. That takes time, David. We haven't seen any of that yet. And then you look at the big, beautiful bill. You look at not just reshoring, but you look at the investments that can be retroactively deducted, 100% deducted. And the big, beautiful bill, when people get their tax refunds, those will start coming in February or March. All of this has taken time. I think we will see some results this quarter, but almost definitely Q2. And what we need, David, is if we're going to see continued prosperity, peace and prosperity, we need this to take effect, and we need to see the results coming in by the end of Q2. Why? There is a lot of disaffection by the very demographics that President Trump was able to leverage and able to have vote for him in the last election. We need to maintain everyone on board so that the midterms in July go by July, so that the midterms go well. Otherwise, we'll lose those voters.
Yeah. I agree with you 110%, and hopefully we do see some of that start to take shape in Q2. Hilary Fordwich, God bless you so much. Thank you for joining the Pulse this evening.
Absolutely. You too. Thank you for having me, David.